We are live.
A reasonable man adapts himself to the world. An unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man. It's radicals, you know what I'm saying?
Pull up in motorcades. I got a show today. It's all around the door. Hustle and motivate. Choppers a throwaway. Hustle the overweight. That's why they follow me home. They think I know the way. Cause I took control of things. Rolling the solo way. And if you pattern my trend, I make you my protege. Tossing that soldier race. Niggas don't know them days. Take you in back of the buildings. Take you expose the rage. Take you across the tracks. Make you expose the face.
It's okay to be crazy, especially in what we're trying to do or what we're trying to accomplish. The Porter KC FB, what we all are trying to do, we got a little crazy, right? What Shakia is doing for banking, she's crazy, right? What Pat's doing for the innovation, what he's trying to accomplish is it's a little crazy, right? Well, totally what these guys are doing right here, like you gotta have a little craziness. So sometimes your why is gonna fuel you. But when you get on E, that craziness continues to push you along that highway, and you are running on fumes. You know?
Now you official now, but you got a soul to say. I just been cooking that note. I'm about to drop in the field. Think if I call it the great, the people gon' call it the truth. I ain't really trip on the credit. I just paid all of my bills.
Hey, what up?
What's
We
going
are
on?
live. Can we hear? Everybody can hear? We good? We feeling good about it?
Yep.
Rick Usher's already tapped in. He said, "Happy Wednesday, y'all."
What's up, Rick?
Hey, boss.
So, I'm gonna take my hat backwards just because of this lighting situation. Try to figure this out. What's up? So happy Wednesday, like Rick Usher said, and we are back. This is the weekly show. What's next? The Porterhouse KC. We got some really special guests this week, as we normally have really special guests, but really important information to talk about tonight. And so I want to kind of go around, first of all, briefly introduce yourselves. And we're going to go on shout outs right after we briefly introduce ourselves. And then we're going to jump into the organizations that you guys represent and kind of what the work is looking like for you. So without further ado, let me get that right. Since Nia is right here on this side of me, let's go ahead and start over here with Nia.
Nia Richardson, City of Kansas City, KC Biz Care office.
All right.
Morgan, you got it.
Morgan, Square One Small Business Services at Mid-Continent Public Library. Can I do my shout out now?
Absolutely. Go ahead, do your shout out, Morgan.
My first shout out tonight is to Duran Cooper, whose show Ultimate Game Night is so much fun that the library wants him to host like something for owners.
Wow.
So that's how awesome it is. Something completely disconnected was like, wow, we can't ignore that level of awesome. So that's my shout out.
I love it. Hey, you know what? I had him, and I just want you to see it and prove it. You're not going to be able to see it, but I had him down as my shout out too. I just want to let you know that. That's awesome. Kim, how about you?
Kim Randolph, Heartland Black Chamber of Commerce, owner of INQ LLC. And since we're doing shout outs, I'd like to shout out to all the people that are working with us on these different committees and all of the small businesses out here that are trying to survive the corona, and to you guys for what you do.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Simone
Curls. Shout out first. Thank you to you guys, everybody that we work with, and the Prospect Business Association. We really appreciate it, and everybody who's out here on the front lines. Thank you so much for all that you do.
Awesome. Sharon, you want to round us out?
Yep, Sharon Thompson, the other co-founder of the Porterhouse KC, and I would like to give a shout out to the families and the moms at home with the kids. It's a struggle up there teaching. The train service, I work for the train service, BNSF, and give a shout out to the guys on the front line, dealing with testings and stuff too, because that's big too.
Absolutely. Dope. So I'm Dan Smith. I'm the other co-founder of the Porterhouse KC, and we're an organization that was created to help entrepreneurs in the urban core scale up from where they are. Even if you hadn't started a business before, our goal is to help you either start and create and put you in a position to be successful. And we got all kind of stuff that's coming up. So we'll talk about that later. But my shout outs, D Coop, I'm shouting him out too. Yep. Morgan, I'm taking that one too, because Ron is doing phenomenal in his space, and he's created a whole new thing. And if you haven't tapped into the Ultimate Game Night and his shows, obviously all his shows is on his Facebook page, so that you can see kind of the past episodes and whatnot. But just phenomenal what he's doing. Jay Allen with 2923 Comics, he's dope. He's got his own comic book, and he's continuing to push that. Busy Benton with KC, where you at? He's pushing the envelope. He's making sure everybody knows and staying connected. Chef Shanita, she's still showing people how to cook online. Kiana is bringing in some heavy hitters in her show that she's doing with Black Excellence. Ron Coley with chess, keeping people in their houses. So we love that. Dean, keep pushing the envelope. Deanna Munoz, she's actually, I don't know, I think tomorrow she's got the mayor on her Facebook Live. So that'd be awesome. And then Kira is doing a great job too, staying present and in person with folks. So yeah, that's my shout outs. That's all I got. I know I had a lot, but I'll try to trim those down next time. But they needed to be shouted out, so it's okay.
Right.
Yep. So Deanna just said it's Friday, so join us. There you go.
Right on.
Go ahead, hey Deanna. If you're on there, put your the link to whatever where it's going to be showed or shown, whatnot. So Jamar, real quick before we continue, Jamar said, "How can he get in touch with all of us?" He has an event coming up called Black Ops Feeding Families. So that's a good opportunity for us to. We'll link everybody's information below, so everybody there are in the comments, so we can all stay connected. So we'll make sure to do that. Tamala said, "Hello to the group. Looking forward to the conversation." And obviously,
hey Tamala.
Hey Tamala.
Tamala's part of the group.
Okay. All right. Cool. So. We'll start with the Prospect Business Association. This is in no particular order, so I'm just throwing it out there. Prospect Business Association. What is the PBA? What are you guys working on? And what do we have to look forward to? What are we doing right now?
Well, PBA in general, we are a business membership organization. And so right now with the corona, we're trying to pivot and to be able to make sure that everybody has all the information needed so that they can move forward. We're also looking at something that I feel has been not looked at, which is the small businesses 0 to 4. That and all of the PPP and all the monies that have gone out and everything, all the loans, that is the group 0 to 4 that just has been totally just out there, no money. How do we work and to get the grants needed for these small businesses? Some of our businesses cannot afford loans. They cannot afford to get another loan to stay alive. And so what are we going to do? And how do we make our businesses that have 0 to 4 people there, how do we make them relevant? Because they have been completely left out of this game altogether with all of the monies, given and this, that, and the other. That population has been just left out. They don't get anything. And again, that loan thing, I have my own soapbox. I won't start that right now. Nia's laughing at me, but I have issues with that. Because we talk about payroll. Most of us don't have a payroll. Okay. We have, the 1099, all of those people. So in order to get the payroll plan loan, then you have to have people actually working for you. And so that's a whole problem that we as a entity are trying to deal with. So that's it in a nutshell.
Awesome. Simone, hey, you can get on your soapbox. I just want to let you know that. So don't not get on it, right? Because there's people out there that need to know the frustrations. And from your perspective and what you guys are doing, you can shed light in different ways for those folks, right? So when you get on your soapbox, it's okay, right? We can live with that. It's all good. We love it. We love it. Awesome. So
okay, so now okay, Kim go.
Okay, so Simone, I'm gonna get on my bandwagon. Nia, that's why Nia did her arm up. She didn't get comfortable because she knows I'm getting ready to go on one. Heartland Black Chamber of Commerce is actually a regional chamber. We cover the Region 7, which is 4 states, and we call ourselves MINC, Missouri, Iowa, Nebraska, and Kansas. Our focus is to connect, promote, and grow minority businesses with a focus on Black business. So, we have enough organizations that we work on minority businesses, but our focus, the advocacy for Black business is what we do. Right now, and I do want to throw another shout out. I want to shout out to Nia specifically because Nia contacted me earlier this month, right after Corona came out, and we started talking about what are we going to do? How are we going to be relevant and make sure that the small 0 to 4 business is not left out? We know that that's a problem. They've already been left out. Someone said to me today, how are you guys feeling about us going into a recession? We've never been out of the recession, so we wouldn't know how to feel. So one of the things that I'll say that the Heartland Black Chamber is doing with the help of KC Biz Care and PBA, which is wonderful, is we are starting to connect these small organizations and sharing our resources. One of the biggest problems is that we continue to be isolated and we continue to be separated. So if we're not coming together, bringing our resources together, working together, there's enough out here for every organization that's out there to have a part or a role in building our community. And our community stays at this level of non-growth because they're choosing sides. And we don't need to choose sides. We need to come together and make it all work. Our job is what we're doing at the chamber is helping these small businesses grow to capacity. So we all know that we always want the work, but we have the capacity to do the work. And most of the times our businesses, they have great skills there. And I'm going to use construction because it's usually the low hanging fruit, but it also goes for service industry. You have a plumber that is a great plumber, but he has no business I won't say sense, but understanding. So, his buying power, his banking, his bonding, the things that he actually needs to set his business up. So what we're doing at the chamber is we are working with people like PPA and KC Biz Care. We want to start sending our businesses to KC Biz Care to get those needed items for setting up, getting your business license, knowing the things that you have to have, and making those connections. I'm going to get off my bandwagon for a minute and let someone else get on one.
It's all right. That's cool. We love it. We love it. We love it. Awesome. That's great information. I got a text message. I don't know where I put my cell phone, but I got a text message that asked specifically about how do companies or businesses join your organization. So we definitely want to have that information as well. You want to put that out there. And I think off camera, you told me a little bit, there's some other stuff that you got going on that you some benefits if you join in newly joining. So I definitely want you to share that information as well.
Yeah, I'm going to let Nia
Okay. All right.
And then we'll throw the promotion out there then.
I got you. Okay. Nia, what you got?
Nia Richardson, KC Biz Care. So I've been working with these lovely ladies and a bunch of other folks who are leading different minority chambers and business associations or just different industry leaders. And we've definitely been working together collectively to figure out, one, just share resources, but also get this survey out to figure out what our businesses need. Again, looking at the micro enterprises, looking at the minority businesses, looking at businesses in minority communities, especially now as we begin to open back up, and how we do it safely. How do we make sure that these businesses can continue to stay open, that people will continue to patronize, that not only do your employees feel safe, but your customers feel safe when they come into your spaces. We've also just been trying to figure out what else do our businesses need. We can definitely take a guess. We know that they need capital, but what we're also seeing is that, of course, relationships are essential, far more essential now than they ever were before. Because beforehand, plenty of small businesses were able, especially sole proprietors, were able to, function under the radar, maybe not paying their taxes here and there, maybe not having a business license. And now you can't get any type of relief funding without it. It's going to be very hard for us to fight for people to still be able to get access to something without having that proof that they're quote unquote a viable business. So instead of leaving them out of the equation, we are trying to figure out ways to help them get set up, taking this time as an opportunity to help businesses get ready, get set up, so they can also take advantage of the opportunities that are happening now for them to relieve their businesses, but also beyond COVID-19. So we're definitely working and bringing our brains together and our resources together to see, just bringing that unity and that collective, the collective work to show how we can really help save the businesses in Kansas City.
Can I jump in, Nia?
Yeah, sure.
100%.
Nia,
100%.
Nia struck something that is so true. At this time, one of the things that we're doing, and all three of us are doing, is trying to help these businesses to pivot. And in that pivot, it's time to really sit down and look at your structure and to restructure. And one of the things that we often see is when we go for these, again, small business loans, we aren't prepared. As Kim, said, we aren't prepared. And so Nia touched on something that I like to talk about just a little bit. We have somebody that is a sole proprietor, 1099, you're making it happen. And now it comes times to do your taxes and you keep taking a loss. You keep taking an L. You take an L first year. Woo, I got over Uncle Sam, I'm doing something. You take an L the second year, the third year, the fourth year. Now you've actually grown, done some things, and you really are ready for a loan. You go to the bank and they say, well, why would we give you money? Because you done took a loss for 5 years on your taxes. And it's like that aha moment. So one thing that I try to do with business is help them plan. You got to plan to plan to plan. You have to really sit down and plan. So sometimes taking a loss and looking like on taxes, you're getting over, really actually hurts you in the end. I have a business that have been taking a loss. They've grown like just oh my God, done extremely awesome work. They need a line of credit. It's the difference between a loan and a line of credit. But anyway, they needed a line of credit. But again, when you pull down your taxes, they've taken a loss. I mean, just gradually. And so now they can't get anything. So how do you grow? And so that's the issue. So please, look at that, because that's very important. It's just, again, now it's time to really stop what you're doing, because some of us are stopped. And let's think about, how are we going to pivot? What are we going to do different coming forward than we did prior to COVID? Because it's key to actually find that silver lining and say, hey, what can I do different? Because those businesses who could possibly get a loan, your taxes messed you up. So again, a loss is not always, I know it looks like a win, but that win is actually a loss.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love it. I love it.
Good job. Yes.
So I just, first of all, I've been giving Nia shout outs too, because Kim gave Nia a shout out. I've been giving Nia shout outs the last 3 weeks. So I don't know if Nia, you've been watching it all, but we've been shouting out you and the survey and everything else. So I'm just letting you know. We threw that out there too.
I appreciate
it. I've been asking about the surveys.
Absolutely.
Look,
So
me and Sharon got history. Y'all don't know that. Me and Sharon went to school together. We graduated together. So we got a long history. And this is not fair, yo. I didn't said it in 100 years. We'd be sitting on Facebook Live like this and talking about small business. Couldn't have said it. I'm sorry.
You're good. Right. So what are you guys seeing right now? I know everybody on here has kind of dialogued at some point in time with some small businesses that are out there that are looking, like you said, talking about pivoting and things like that. Because I know this is a part of the reason why the survey is out there in the first place, right? Like at the end of the day, everybody, when you say, what do you need? And everybody's, well, money, right? So what else are your small business owners asking for? Like, what are they looking at? Because like you said, you're helping them pivot. But what else are they looking at? What are their struggles like right now and tomorrow? Like, what is that looking for?
Well, for PBA, for our members, one thing that we're looking at is, how do we reopen? Because now everybody needs what? The PPE. So I closed down just, overnight. I shut down. I haven't made any money. No money's coming in. Now, in order for me to open back up, I have to spend some money in order to open back up. So where's that money going to come from? So the PPE for me, for my 2 people that work there, maybe full-time, maybe not, and for everybody that's coming in. And so they're saying it's actually costing me more money right now to actually open up. So, that's a concern. And Nia's done a really wonderful job, and Kim and I and everybody. And the city has the website, Nia, I don't remember it, where you can actually go and to order some PPE. I do have to say that PBA was given some PPE, and so we had given that out, but you run out because people need it. So that's a huge need right now.
So I know Rick Usher was on, and Nia, I don't know if you have a chance, but that website, I don't know where we can direct people to that website just in case. Because that's important too, being able to have access to it, because some folks don't even know how to access it, right? So we'll try to look for it. Okay.
We got, so there, the city has its resources on its site. Biz Care put up a response and resource site. That's where the survey is sitting. So just know that when you go take that survey, that site that it sits on, there's a variety of resources for you there. We have information about list PPP. We have information about all caps PPP will be up very soon. EDC has their loan program. And then, of course, there's the SBA stuff. Our finance department has put up some tax guidelines, industry tax guidelines. So we're getting some up for beauty and barbers. But right now, there's like a manufacturer, restaurants, wholesale. And so I'm trying to figure out what other industries to advise them to put some guidelines out there on. But one of the bigger things that we really need to focus on right now, which my office is going to be focused on, is getting people that back office support, particularly around the accounting, and getting their taxes done, because taxes impact a lot of different things. And the city had already made some announcements about potentially having a shortfall, and that comes from tax revenue. And the last thing you want right now is the city to shut down. Because there's a lot of businesses that are dependent upon the city and have been continue to be dependent upon the city being up and running. But like I said, helping people get things in order, situated, getting their taxes together, because that deadline has been extended. Once you get that going, then you could just kind of smooth sail from there and get some more money, because I hope we can get more money out on the streets for businesses. But the site, I'll put it up in the chat, but it's the same as the one that you would go to your survey to.
Awesome. I know Rick had put in there kcppe.com too.
That's
as
the
one.
for the PPE equipment. Yep.
As one. And then Morgan had typed in while she was sitting there. If you're a first-time grant applicant, email her with this email address right there for free session with a grant writer. Every Saturday morning they're doing grant application classes. So that is awesome, and that's free as well. And I want to shout out Morgan's shirt that says Iron District on there as well. What you think, Morgan? What you got?
I am so happy tonight because you have brought me people that philosophically we are right here.
When Simone said get on that soapbox, Morgan was like, do it now.
And I have to fight for that soapbox. I am not kidding you. People want to talk a lot about big fancy business. And I really feel like it's important for libraries to be there to support not fancy business.
Yeah.
And we've got this huge resource community for small businesses in Kansas City, like unbelievable amounts of money and time and people invested in helping small businesses. And I look around and, hey, not nearly enough people taking advantage of it or haven't even heard of it. And then also, everybody looks just like me in the classroom. And all the teachers look just like me.
Right.
But if I break down who owns the business in Kansas City, turns out they're not all replicas of Morgan. So that means we have a ginormous investment of money and time that is not being utilized, and it is not reflective of the community. So how are we not getting together every Wednesday already because we have the same soapbox? How do we not know each other already? And that's a hard question. I don't want to bring everybody down. But I think it's an important question to ask, because if we don't start looking at this, then in 10 years, there's going to be another Morgan, and she's going to be someplace random, and she's going to hear another Simone say exactly how she feels about something, and yet has never sat down on a committee together before. And that's just a dumb waste. That is a waste. Because these low to moderate income businesses, these underserved communities that also have businesses that are critical to their community, and we're not supporting them because we're so busy getting in line to support Cerner. Cerner doesn't need your help. Period.
Morgan said it.
Morgan say that. Look,
Morgan said it.
We took care of them, and we took care of them. But we've got the numbers. We know who creates the jobs in Kansas City.
Yeah.
And it's when you add all these micro enterprises together, that's where the job creation comes from. But when I look at the products that are currently being offered in Kansas City to save business, not just support it, save it.
Save it, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It is not for the majority of businesses in Kansas City. And I am Debbie Downer. For 9 weeks, I have been on this show as Debbie Downer. Qualify for all those programs. And every week, it's normally me in the shout out going, well, Midland's going to fail or Greenland's going to fail because they're big and they still don't qualify. I had to listen in 2 different instances yesterday for people bagging on food trucks. Straight up, didn't even think I'd notice bagging on food trucks. Every day.
Well,
every day. Go ahead.
Well, Morgan, I'm gonna say this. I'm just gonna throw this out here. This is what has happened between us, and we'd like you to join us. It's called collaborating and not just talking about something, but actually we have a solution. We just have to put it into effect and putting the pieces together. You have a resource, and you said the magic word, FRE, which makes it so much better. But having those resources, a lot of it has to do with it not being disseminated to the community. If we're not getting it in the hands of the right people and we're not looking at and listening to their needs, I think, and I'm going to say this, Nia, I'm getting ready to get started, but one of the things that I have a problem with is that decisions are always made by a group of people who do not even talk to the people that they're deciding for. So you all get in a room, you make the decision on what is going to happen in the community, and then you tell us what we're going to do. And you can't meet my need unless you know what I need. Exactly. So your need may not be my need. And you can't cookie cut us and put us in this box like we're Cerner, because we're not. So I agree with you. I think that finding these resources that can work together and really, really look at, and I was gonna wait on you to throw this out here, Nia, but it hadn't got there yet. This is the purpose for the survey that we worked very hard. Nia worked her tail off on this survey. And I know people kept saying, when is the survey coming? When is it? But it was important that we sent out questions that were relevant. You know, if you can ask a blanket question, but if it's not relevant to everyone, you're not getting all the answers. So the survey for us as a committee and as a group, and what do we call ourselves? I forgot the name of it. We call ourselves
Minority Recovery, Relief and Recovery.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, we just put something.
What is it? Say it again.
This is a group of people that really, really every week, even though my Zooms are usually wrong or we have to work to get on, but okay, I'm old and technically challenged.
Honestly, you do wonderful. You do good.
Thank you. What I'm saying is the importance of us coming together, collaborating and actually executing. I think that's the word I want to use. Execute. We have to execute. We have been talking about coming together, what the needs are. We know what the problem is. We know what we need to do. We just have not executed because we keep going off into these silos. And everybody gets jealous when somebody else is doing something instead of saying, hey, what you're doing, can we come together and put what I'm doing, what you're doing, because we can help a broader group of people. That's the important thing. If like I said, I'll say this over and over again, there is so much need out here that there's room for everybody to do what needs to be done. And when we silo ourselves, then we are sprinkled with the funds. So if you come together and we say, hey, we need this amount of money to cover this whole area, then they're not looking at you like, okay, we're going to drop a little bit on PBA, and then we'll drop a little bit on Heartland, and then we're stuck trying to make these little pieces of pie work when we should have a whole pie. And then we can start working from that. We can work from that point. I'm like I said again, I really appreciate you guys for what you've done over the period of time that you've come and put together Porterhouse. I've kind of followed you. I've come to some of your your speaking engagements. The ideal is to bring people together, not only to collaborate, but let's do something.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, a lot of it boils down to, so first of all, I want to shout out Morgan, right? But like, it's about comfortability too, right? And we talk about putting people in the right spaces at the right time and being open to share those first. I mean, before you get to a point where you want to share and really dive in together, you want to feel like you know people, right? Like they're family almost, right? And it happens like that in a lot of instances. But how do you get that? How do you build that relationship initially, right? So like Morgan came to one of our sessions just kind of randomly, right? She saw it online on Facebook or something and came to our session and loved it and start coming to more sessions, right? And so, and then we start talking, and then we start having dialogue, and we start finding some commonalities and perspectives and things like that. But if she didn't come to our session or feel comfortable enough to come to our session, or be okay being uncomfortable, regardless of whatever that looks like, this wouldn't happen, right? Like, she's on the show. We've been sharing this platform together, and this wouldn't have happened because we wouldn't have been put ourselves in those situations. So I say that to say, even for all the folks that are watching, like, getting uncomfortable is really important about all, I mean, in all of this, right? And so like us being on camera right now, this is a norm, right? This is a kind of a new norm, but I'm not sure how you guys feel about this, but I know we hadn't felt comfortable just going live. Like, I do videos and stuff, but you can edit videos, right? Like, I don't want to not say the right thing, right? Like, I can mess up and say the wrong thing and it's out there, right? But if I'm doing a video, I can edit it and cut that part out and refilm, retape, all that stuff. So this is uncomfortable. So just, you know, be okay getting uncomfortable and living in fear and going ahead of that fear and getting beyond it. To be able to create these relationships like you guys are creating. Like Nia went in a fearless manner and said, look, we got to figure this thing out. She gave us a call too. We got to figure this thing out, right? And we want to figure it out for the right people, right? There's some folks that are getting these resources that are not necessarily the ones that actually wholeheartedly need these resources, like you're talking about the 0 to 4 folks, right? And so putting all these people together, Nia started that. But imagine people like you guys are comfortable with each other, Simone, Kim, like you've been working in the same spaces and know each other and trying to figure things out. But there's other people that are in different spaces, kind of similar to yours, that are not comfortable with each other, that don't feel comfortable coming to your spaces or invite, even seeing you come into their spaces. They may look at you when they see you come through the door and they're like, oh, there's Kim.
Here she comes.
And her soapbox.
That's all. That's all of it.
Here come Nia. Man. But it's okay though, right? I'm okay with that, right? We've gotten to a point where we're fine with that, because it's a greater good. It's a greater good out there, beyond what your opinion might be or whatever the case may be. So we're going to keep doing that. We're going to keep being uncomfortable and making other people uncomfortable, because that's how change happens, right?
Right.
Sharon, what you thinking, man? You over there quiet. What's up? I like your deep rooted hoodie you got too. That's a local business.
So small local business. Yeah, I'm listen, I couldn't really hear Kim and but the conversation is needed. We need to keep supporting each other and work this thing out. Like I said, the important thing is to do the surveys for these small businesses and get it out there. I think we got to still try to share, try to keep it going, because I mean, it's important.
Yeah.
It's very, very important. I'm glad you guys are bringing it up. This survey is for everybody. We want to get as much data as possible. We want to get as much of your feedback as possible. We want to know what is it that you need. We want to be able to quantify that. You know, I'm learning working for the city that I can only go so far with me just saying something, but if I have the data to back it up, it's hard for someone to tell me no. So if you want me to advocate for you, I need you to participate so that I can be that advocate for you in the city and try to go the best that I can and support the small businesses here. Because I know where Simone's going to go with it. You know, we don't need debt. We need actual relief. And these loans, I'm with her. Like, you know, how dare we mandate you to close and not put the support out there that you need for the interruption happening. So I'm with you on it. I don't disagree with that. And so I've been really busting my tail every day trying to figure out, like, how do we do that? You know, working with the Central City Sales Tax Board and helping to push forth a recommendation to council to put at least $500,000 into from that money that Central City has into the community to save the businesses, the one entities that don't pay the tax, that give it the opportunity for these developers to actually do something. So why would we not support those businesses? This is the community that I live in. This is the community that I grew up in. And every day I look out the door, it's just like these businesses, these micro enterprises, these are the fabrics of my community. Whether they're legal or not, they're here. They exist. Somebody's working, somebody's off the street, somebody is building something in our community, somebody is using this to help somebody else. It's the fabric of our life. What commercial was that? But again, you know, that's who we're really trying to reach. We want to see the businesses in the community, the ones that are not being touched by a lot of our organizations. We want to get to know you. This is a way for us to extend our hand to you. What do you need? How can I help you? And how do I keep you alive? And so anybody, if you have a business, I don't care if it's just your side hustle, because the side hustle can be a full enterprise one day. Please fill out the survey. We want to know. And I understand, I get gripes and moans from certain people out of our group about how long it is. Well, I'm not here to just ask you questions and say, okay, hey, we put a survey out. Yay, businesses are suffering. No, I'm asking you questions because I actually want to solve the problem. I actually want to find solutions for you. And I can't do that by saying, hey, how you doing? Tell me about you. What do you need? What have been your barriers? What did you attempt to try? You know, we have a lot of questions about the capital and how people are obtaining that capital, whether they've been denied or approved, and what for, why, who did you work with? I want to see who's trusted in the community, who's actually helping people in our community. I want to know if you have access to the equipment. You know, shout out to Joey Cuts. You know, I did a PSA with him. That's how I got a haircut. Boy, Lord knows. He was a PSA, and I was like, hey, so you do need somebody to demonstrate with, right? Like, you never cut my hair before, let's make it happen. So we did a quick PSA. It's getting edited right now, but I saw the draft of it, and it's really, really dope. And all it's about is we took the guidelines that the mayor put out for the 10-10-10, and we applied them, and we just showed barbers how to cut open safely, what to have around, how to prepare for it. But just doing that process, we were talking about, like, what do you need? Man, he's gonna need gloves. They're gonna need the strips. They might need to get, the disposable aprons that they put around people. So imagine that every single person I'm seeing, I'm ripping things off. And so haircuts might get a little bit more expensive because I'm trying to keep you safe. And it's something that minor, that small is going to have a big impact on the cost to operate your business. So COVID-19 has put an extra cost on operating businesses. So I imagine some things will go up, but the more we support our businesses, the better off we can all be. And that's the hope that behind this survey. Just tell me what you need so I can solve a problem and I can get
so that was somebody. Go ahead.
It was me. Sorry.
No. You're fine.
Just add a little bit to what Nia said. This survey is multi-layered.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because you heard her give you a couple of reasons why it's really important to do this, but Nia is not just somebody that works in city government. Nia is the person with her committee right now that is telling you that they're going to make people who make decisions see you.
Yes.
Because the people who design programs that don't work for you, guys, they don't know you exist. Like, it literally is not a part of their life to interact with a business that's a 0 to 4. They don't know you're around. They don't know you're the majority of business. They don't know that you are 74% of the businesses in Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
You are the majority of how we do business, and they don't know you exist.
Yeah.
Right.
And the other thing, I'm going to bite off FUBU. Yes, Morgan, that was great. I'm going to bite off a FUBU. This survey is for us, by us.
Right.
Okay? This survey is for us, by us. And so
That's
I
right.
hear people complaining and nobody takes into consideration this. This is your time. If you want to complain, you sit at that survey and say what you have to say.
Right.
One of the things that when Nia, again, hats off to Nia, this is her baby. She has done a phenomenal job. And so one thing is there are boxes that are open. So you could sit and type you a whole encyclopedia set of issues. This is your time to say what you have to say. And so we highly ask you, please take the time and fill out the survey. This is for us, by us. Nobody in the back room did something and we took it and said, oh, okay, this was a thought process of questions that we thought about, Nia thought about. And so these are crafted questions that came out of her head. Kim had input, I had input, other people in the group had input. And so please, this is not somebody doing some survey in a back room somewhere. This is for us, by us. Other thing is that micro enterprises, according to the Association for Enterprise Opportunity, micro enterprises, they provide 30 million jobs across the United States. Think about that.
Yes.
30 million jobs. So as we talk about building a healthy community and we talk about the urban core, a lot of people working in the urban core, they work at these jobs.
Yeah, that's right.
Businesses don't get the resources and supports that they need to stay open and to pivot. If we already had issues with the urban core and jobs and money and all of those issues, crime, before COVID-19, if we don't figure this out, then we're going to really have issues moving forward.
Yep.
And yes, we can just keep saying we got issues, we need help. Unfortunately, in order for people to kind of listen, we have to come with the statistics and the stats and the numbers and say, hey, here's what people said. This isn't just Nia, saying, hey, I think it's 50%. We're helping her. So everybody help her, help us by actually filling out the survey so she can get the numbers and the information to be able to advocate for us.
You know what? You made me think about some. Shout out to Mayor Lucas. Mayor Lucas just this week put a letter out to the county. I don't know if many of you are aware, the city was just short of population to apply for CARES Act, and the county did. County, I believe, was awarded, I don't know how much, but a good amount of money. And the mayor put his request in. About $18 million he was looking to dedicate towards small businesses and technical assistance. I think about $13 million to go for EDC to provide grants for small businesses, for interruptions and things of that sort. And then he put about $3.5 million for Biz Care to help us do what we are planning to do, to provide some recovery and some response to some technical assistance. And we're looking at how do we leverage this time, this plan to not only supply recovery for our small businesses, but for our organizations. Each of these ladies represent an organization that was already out there trying to help small businesses, particularly our micro enterprises in our urban core communities, in our minority communities. And so we are looking at ways to support them as well. And how do we help get them the equipment that they need to provide the technical assistance and the support to the businesses? How do we help make their organization stronger and help them be better advocates or more of an advocate for the businesses that they represent? How can I open the door at the city for them to come in and advocate on behalf of those businesses? That's my job. And that's what I'm hoping we can also get out of this as well. It's not just about the businesses, it's about the organizations as well that support the businesses. We got to keep them alive as well.
Right.
So I'm really glad that you guys. Go ahead, Kim. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to throw in on what Mia's saying and what Simone said. We really need you guys that are out there listening that have businesses, or if you know someone with a business, to take this survey. We need to stop talking about it in the barber shops and the beauty shops and in the line at the grocery store and calling each other on the phone and complaining. If we really want to be heard, this survey, as Simone indicated, is for you, by you. We did this, or by you, for you. We did this by us, sitting down, looking at what your needs are, hearing what you keep calling us saying. And we took what we're hearing from you and we put it in a survey, and she needs this data in order to be able to really make change. And like Simone says, if we don't do something now, we're going to be in a lot worse shape than we ever thought we could be in.
So I'm glad. I am really excited that you guys went, ladies went into detail about why it's important to actually do this survey, because I know that we had a conversation, Sharon, me and Nia had a conversation a while ago about the importance and what stories are actually being told right now in the communities, right? So like without things like this survey, there are not a whole heck of a lot of platform to get stories told or really to understand what businesses are going through or needing in our communities. So a way to get that done is we create this survey that we have to go fill out, and take a little extra time to do it. But at the end of the day, it gives folks like this, like that are all sitting in this platform, it gives us all some data points to take back to folks to actually have the funding and say, look, this is where the need lies, right? When we talk about the urban community, we often like see surveys that come from other entities. I'm not going to put anybody out there, but they come from other entities, and there's this mashup of small business, right? And you're mashing urban small business owners, the from the communities that we come from, with other business owners that consider themselves small businesses, and they don't, and most times they outnumber those folks that are actually taking those surveys, outnumber the folks that are coming from the urban core. So they might have a different perspective, a different look of what their relationship to small business versus these folks' relationship to small business. So being able to get this from the folks that live in these urban communities, it just means so much more, and it provides more opportunity to. I feel like we're doing an infomercial right now about about this survey, but hey, it's important. It's important.
It's very important. But just also note that the survey, the survey is just the starting point. We are really building out the infrastructure that is needed to be able to support our businesses moving forward. I wish we had the infrastructure beforehand, because we would have reached all these businesses a lot sooner. Right. If I don't know you, if I don't know where you are, I can't help you. So this is me putting my hand out to say, where are you? Because once I get you in to the survey and I get you into my system, the minute that we get programs and relief money in place, you'll know. And because that's one thing about the survey, for those who have taken it thus far, I've had so many people come back and tell me on the capital questions, we listed all the various different capital funds, grants, things that were out there. And some people weren't even aware that they existed. And so I had people calling me like, hey, I'm on Hello Alice trying to fill out for this grant, or I didn't know about this particular grant over here. Well, now you know. But that's the other benefit of it. You get informed about things, and we get your feedback. But moving forward, we get to stay connected with you, and I want to be able to assist you. So, Biz Care, we're here.
We call that tapping in.
Yeah.
So now you can tap in with the folks, right?
The resources are there.
The resources are absolutely there. I just need to find you, the business, to get the resources to you.
Right. So important to
100%.
share with your friends and businesses. Just talk to other businesses if they haven't did it yet. Just say, hey, do the survey. Check it out. This will help you. This will help them. If you ain't got the PPE, do the survey. That will help you.
We had a couple comments in the chat. I just wanted to kind of address and just go out there. Hurston talked about. So Kim, I'm not gonna read yours. I'm not gonna put yours up there yet, because we're gonna talk about that in depth a little bit. But Hurston said, would it be possible to talk about how to pivot? There are many people doing something as a hobby that's actually a full career in a different space, right? So then we'll talk about that in a second. And Natasha said, is there currently any grants available for 0 to 4 years small businesses? And Morgan already responded to that and said, hey, give her a shout. So if Ms. Scott, if you're on here, if you're still watching, make sure you tap into Morgan, and then also tap into Kim and Simone and Nia, because they have resources available as well. And then Rick posted in there that the letter that was posted that Nia had referenced. So if you want to see that, it's in the comment. So let's circle really quick to Kim's post. So I'm gonna read it, and then I'm gonna let Kim kind of dive into that a little bit. She said there's a limited offer, a free 6-month HBCC Pro membership valued at $700 annually. Hold on, let me go back. Free 6-month HBCC Pro membership valued at $700 annually. That's crazy. Okay. For small business and minority businesses with 10 or less employees, membership starts June 1st, 2020 and be up for renewal December 31st, 2020. To claim it, just forward the survey complete confirmation with the contact person's name, phone number to that email address, and it ends June 1st, 2020. So you only got a few days to put that in. So make sure you put that in. So Kim, you want to talk about that? What made you guys do that? That's pretty big.
Well, one of the things that I had to go to my board with, and I was like, hey, we really, really need to do something basically due to the coronavirus. So, as a chamber, our membership base, and I'm sure Simone can speak to this, with all of our businesses being small business, that means that the membership that they would normally pay will have to go back into their budget. Mm-hmm. Because we're losing money. We're closed our business. We're not getting any revenue. And the one thing that we wanted to be able to do was to offer our services and our resources. And there's a lot that we are doing other than just having networking events. We have Construction Alliance. We have website building. We have educational our seminars that we're getting ready to do virtually. You have access to a directory. You can advertise. We do connections. So if you're trying to be connected to a corporate account, if we see you have capacity, we'll put you there. So the pro membership is in between the basic and the executive. Basic membership is, you're brand new, you're just getting started, and we're going to help you with some of those steps, and we're going to send you over to Nia. And then the pro is you've been in business, but you need those connections. You need to build capacity. So we have like Finance 101. We're launching Finance 101. We're launching the Construction Alliance. We have a safety both in construction and general industry. OSHA 10 certifications. And then we have working with human relations. And Tamla, if you're still out there, we help with the certification process. All that is part of your membership package. The reason we decided to do that was understanding that, to Simone's point, everything else that they do now is going to cost them debt. And we wanted to be able to offer them something that was debt-free, but also give them an incentive to have their voices heard. We can't do this without you. So, the board was in complete. When I went to them, I thought, okay, here I am going to tell them we're not going to get any money, but let's do this. And actually, they were very receptive behind it. So, kudos to my board. I want to say shout out to the Heartland Black Chamber Board. You guys are amazing. And just saying that, if we don't start giving something to the community, shame on us. So I can go out there and say, we want you to give to the community, but if I'm not doing the same thing, it's like, wow, who am I?
It was really about also providing some incentive for people to take a survey that we knew wasn't a 5-minute survey, that was definitely going to take some time. Again, just also note that when you go in and take the survey, it's going to ask for your email. The reason it does that is so you can go in and out of the survey. So if you want to get started and come back to it because you may need to go find some information, or you might need to take a break and catch the kid, you can do that. So that's why it prompts and asks you for your email address, so you can always come back to it. But what Kim is doing and what Kira also I saw she's doing, she's offering a gift card for those who complete the survey. And I told her I'll throw in a $50 gift card for her drawing as well. But we needed an incentive for people to do this survey during this time when they've been over surveyed. Everyone jumped out in the beginning to do a survey, and rightfully so, because we, all had to try to figure it out, what was happening. So we knew we were coming at a tough time, especially now that things are starting to reopen. And how do we get people to kind of calm down a little bit, take the survey, give me your information, tell me how you feel. We figured we might need some type of incentive to do that. And so we're hoping that that's going to help. It has definitely, for all those who have definitely helped to get the word out, More Square, EDC, All Cap, KC Sourcelink. I've seen you guys all out there helping to promote Porterhouse. Thank you guys so much. All the organizations that are part of the group, that is making a difference. And we see when you're putting stuff out, we see the spikes in the surveys. As of right now, we have about 181 surveys that we've got, and we would love to get a lot more, so that when this survey is going to be open for a while, but I want to be able to pull the data and start reporting out and start giving your voices to our mayor, our politicians. I've had a lot of people ask me about the survey and if they can get that data, because they want to see what you're saying and see what you need to know if they're doing the right thing. So just know that it's just not going to be something that's just going to be posted on our website and say, hey, we got some data. No, we're going to run this to everybody and try to get some solutions for you.
So really quick, we've had a couple of folks asked to get the survey posted. So if Rick, if you're still watching, can you post that on there, or Nia or somebody just post that in there? And we appreciate you guys. I know it's crazy. We talking about the survey, and everybody's like, well, where is the survey? Can I get the survey? Let's get it done.
As much as I posted it.
There you go. So we'll post it in here. There you go. So Nia just posted it in there, so you guys can go there after the show or during the show, split screen, do what you got to do, and fill that out. Jeff, what's up? Jeffrey Davis. Jeff Davis is my guy, man. We former president of the 100 Black Men of Greater Kansas City. I was a part of that organization, dope organization. How can a nonprofit with interest in economic development help and contribute within the community? That's a great question. Anybody want to take that?
I will.
Go ahead.
One of the PBA's tagline is actually building a healthy community. And so what we've done is we've partnered with our PBA members, such as City Gear, and that's a clothing store. So what we've done is partner with those entities that would like to help with the community. Prior to COVID-19, and we're again pivoting, trying to figure this out now, City Gear was actually very active, and we had a plan for them to do the back to school clothes for everybody, here, clothes and shoes and the shots and all of that. They had planned with us a big, summer festival, food giveaways and all of that. And so there are the opportunity is there to partner because one of my soapboxes is, even though we're businesses, we have to realize that the neighborhood and the community is essential for the businesses to thrive. So we have to give back, and we have to be a part of that. And so that's one thing that we do here. I know Kim does some things as well. Kim?
Yeah, so Heartland Black Chamber, when I became the president of the chamber, one of the things that I wanted to express as a chamber, we can't function as regular chambers. We have to not only look at the business community, we have to look at education, we have to look at housing, we have to look at healthcare, mental health care, and workforce development. And so we are looking for partners all the time to work with us in all those areas. And yes, we have some corporate partners that do assist us in a lot of this work. But as to Morgan's point, even our corporate partners don't understand the urban issue. And so that's the reason, to me, it's so special for me to be partnered with PBA, because PBA understands the issues in the urban core. So we partner with them, and we'll be doing a lot more with them. And anyone that wants to come in and work with us, I know we have plenty for you to do.
Exactly.
Awesome. Great information. So I do have a question, Simone, and Kim. So Simone, do you have to have a business on the Prospect Corridor to be a part of the PBA?
And the answer is no. You could be a business that is interested. We actually have people that are just concerned citizens within the community. And so we have businesses, believe it or not, that are in Kansas, the Leawood area. We have businesses all over the city. But they all know that our focus is the urban core. So we support any business, but that is our focus. But yes, we have businesses from all over.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yep.
So we've talked the survey. We talked about our organizations. There's Jeff Davis said 100 Black men in Greater Kansas City welcome opportunities to partner with our communities. So we definitely got to get Jeff tapped in at 100.
We look forward to working with you.
Yes, absolutely.
Jeff, we got to make that connection. We got to make that happen. So we talked about a lot of good stuff. I know we're over an hour, and out of respect for the panel, we definitely I want to make sure that we are conscious of your time, because we appreciate you guys coming on. But what is your plan? What are you looking forward to after COVID? And everybody can tap into this, but what are you looking forward to after this COVID thing? It doesn't necessarily have to fully let up, but like even when the openings start, the partial openings start happening and things like that, what are you guys looking forward to?
Oh, wow. That's a little question. Hey, I'm going to be honest. I'm looking forward to, again, when COVID is, everybody's good. I want to see, like, I miss seeing Nia. Like, I miss seeing people's actual faces. I know that sounds very trivial, but I actually miss the one-on-one, actually seeing people and that camaraderie. Because I think part of building your business is actually getting out there and getting to know people. That was something that I am originally from Kansas City, Missouri. I've lived in Los Angeles for 20 years and I've come back. And that's something going away that I actually had to learn to do. You can't have a business if you don't meet people, if you're not out there talking and figuring out. And because the support and the resources is, so very needed. So just something as simple as just actually being able to actually see people again and to actually build those relationships that are so vital to the success of any business. So I know that sounds very like trivial, but I think it's very important.
Yeah. I want to see you too.
I do want to see everybody, but so I'm the old lady in the crowd and I'm getting ready to show my age. Good gracious. So, I look at historically, if you look at historically, when we look at civil rights and we look at different transitioning periods of time, when our people have gone through transitions, there's kind of like the economy, there's a crash and boom. Mm-hmm. This is our time right now. We've been in a valley for so long that we've become valley susceptible. We are immune to the valley, and we're used to it. However, this is a time right now where I see more of us as organizations coming together to really focus on growth. And I'm looking forward to seeing us really come out of this and continue the movement and see how long the movement will go on and hopefully into the next generation where, we are preparing for the crash. Because I think right now, that's what this corona has done for us as a culture. It's causing us to have a upward trajectory in the slope. We're going up because we're working together. We're trying to find ways, and we are, as a people, survivors. So our survival instincts have kicked in, and we have gotten over some of those fears of working with one another and being uncomfortable around one another. So opening the doors. And I'm just looking forward to seeing, we are saying we want to work together. Let's see us do this beyond pandemic.
And I want to throw something in that Kim said that I want everybody to know is, yes, it appears to be a downturn, but somebody's making money. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. So I need people to really understand that if you go back in history and really look when people made money, they made money when the stock market crashed. They made money when, when the Katrina hit. It's people that made money off of that. So I need us to change our thinking. And I know it hurts right now, but this pain is temporary. Like all pain is temporary. It's temporary right now. So I need everybody to kind of refocus and rethink. Again, I know we talked about pivot and we don't have a lot of time for that one, but people are making money. So I need people to kind of think outside the box of what can I do? What skill set do I have? What training do I have? Maybe your hobby now becomes your primary. Okay, so don't walk away thinking that nobody's making money. It's people making big money right now. So we could be those people as well. You could be those people as well. So please, please, please know money is being made and you could be one of those people.
Absolutely.
And I want to give a shout out to the KC DAC shop. They have when we talked about pivoting, they have pivoted and are doing some great stuff down there. And they just were in the news, I think yesterday or maybe today too. But they're doing a great job when we talked about pivoting and making money. We've had conversations. We had Kinley on, one of the owners of KC DAC. He was on one of our shows, and he talked about they actually were doing a lot better now in COVID than they were outside of COVID. So shout out to those folks that are really really pushing, that continue to push. Morgan, what you think? What are we looking forward to?
I am going to go against the grain here because how I'm surprised. You know how when you're at a concert and you're all packed in and you can only see 5 people in any direction. COVID took that concert full of people and lowered 3/4 of them to their seats. And suddenly I could see all the way across the concert hall of the business community. And I found and I was able to make a connection with them. And I'm going to miss that terribly because I'm scared to death it's going to go back to how it was. And I've met a whole new group of partners in this that I am connecting with, that I'm working with. I've got this series going on in Spanish right now, and that I literally could not pay money to get somebody to help me with that series before COVID. And then suddenly 3/4 of the world sat down and I was able to see the other action-oriented people. And I am going to miss it terribly because it was so easy to reach out and get a hold of somebody. It was so much easier because everybody else, and I'm not knocking needing to take a mental health day or a mental health 2 weeks. I'm not knocking that at all. But when you are as action driven as I am, it was so much easier to find my people.
Yeah. What you think, Nia? You look like you agree. You're agreeing with Morgan.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm seeing a lot more people, meeting a lot more people, connecting people. This has definitely brought a lot of us closer together and given us a reason to really work towards the same goal. Like COVID-19 gave us a reason to work together. We all have a common or the same goal right now. What I hope from this is that, our businesses stay alive. I hope my community doesn't gentrify. I hope that, the businesses that are starting now, I got a report in earlier today that last month, there was maybe just a little under 100 new business licenses that were issued. On average, we see about 100, 200, sometimes over 300 new business licenses every month. And to still see it coming in almost the same manner, what that's telling me is that people are pivoting. People are taking that hobby and that dream and turning it into a reality. Now is the time. Yeah. I'm hopeful who the next big entrepreneur out of Kansas City is going to be. I'm hopeful for who the next person, who's going to be the next Ali Gates to have a company and have development and be a builder in your community. I'm very hopeful for that. And I hope I still have a job. I'm not a person that goes very lightly. You know, when I'm very passionate about something, I definitely have to make it known. I know I'm a short person, you know, in the room. So, you know, I have to speak a little bit louder. I got Napoleon syndrome. Just something I picked up over the years. But regardless of how my job turns out, I hope that whatever it is, we've made a difference, and we made a good difference, and that the group that I'm working with through the Biz Care office with human relations and all the chambers and associations, I hope that we continue to work together after this and help these businesses and make Kansas City. I think we can make Kansas City the most entrepreneurial city in America, and it's not going to happen without us.
Yeah. Dope.
Yeah.
What do you think, Sharon?
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank the 2020 graduates. Congratulations. I'm sorry that it had to go down like this with the COVID-19, but congratulations.
Yeah.
It was actually Nia and I's anniversary for our class reunion, 20 years from Lincoln College Prep. So congratulations, Nia.
Wow.
20 years.
Yeah.
The pivot is very important as a small business. I hope you did done your research or even get certified. It's classes out there you can take online, work on your business. Yeah, actually, I've been working on, taking classes again too. So just do research, read books, and that's all I got.
Dope. This is the time to be innovative, right? Like we talked about this a few episodes ago, I don't want to do that, right? A few episodes ago we had but we talked about this being the time to really be innovative and really change the game. We talked to Hurston about VR, virtual reality, and AR, augmented reality, and what that really looks like. How can small business owners tap into that technology? Who's out there to have that conversation? I know Hurston is one of those folks to have that conversation. What can you do different? What talent do you have, or what abilities or passions do you have that can put you in a different space? And then how do we like with Duran, what Cooper is doing, we introduced him to StreamYard, and he's taken this ultimate game night to a whole different level, right? That ultimate game night was an in-person experience, right? You had to be in person to really grasp what the ultimate game night is. And now I feel like what he's doing is he created a whole new avenue of what ultimate game night really is, even after you get out of COVID. So being able to pivot, being able to be innovative and have those conversations. You got all these people that are on this stream right now that are willing to have conversations with you about what that next level looks like or that next step looks like. So reach out to people. Don't be afraid to DM. We get DMs all the time and have conversations all the time with people that we've never met a day in our lives, but be okay with shooting your shot. I call it shooting your shot. We had Mike Muse on. He's a national radio guy. We had him on, and I DM'd him, and he joined us, and he never does this, right? And he's in New York and all this other stuff. We shot our shot. He came on our show, right? Had a really great, insightful conversation. Shoot your shot. Be innovative. Let's do something together. What do we have? Any last thoughts or anything like that?
I would like to say shout out to my boss, Rick Usher. He pointed out that Biz Care was created during the recession, I believe back in 2009, and it survived and it will continue to survive. And, I appreciate him hiring me to help take it to the next level. So definitely shout out to Rick Usher over at the City of Kansas City.
Dope.
Hey, I want to throw out here. I know Rick will be happy that I said this. You guys, we really need you, not only for the survey, but we definitely need to make sure we're getting the word out about the 2020 census. Yes, I'm on Rick's committee. Rick, that's what I'm doing my due diligence.
Kim's trying to get kudo points. That's all that is.
Thanks, Dan.
Right.
But no,
right.
seriously, if you can get the word out about the 2020 census, especially in the fourth, third, and fifth district. Our meeting yesterday found that it is these are the underreported districts, and they really need to understand how important it is that we get counted.
No, that's great. Great information. What else? Parting thoughts.
Look, I think at the end of the day, again, I'm a statistical person. I think the 2012 stats said that actually African-American women were the number one. They were leading and actually creating micro enterprises. That's that 0 to 4. We are leading this. My Black folks, all of you, everybody, women, let's do this. I know things look down right now, but if you have something you want to do, have an idea, things aren't going, let's get creative. Let's think outside the box. Let's pivot. We got this. Let us not be the people that we always kind of after the fact, we behind the 8 ball. When something comes out, it's like, oh, well, where'd that come from? Let's get ahead of this thing. Let's plan. Let's get some stuff into action and let's go make it happen. That's it.
Oh, I love it. It's a call to action right there. A call to action.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Morgan? I saw you took yourself off mute, so I know you got something.
In so many of these conversations, because of the problematic solutions offered to us as the things that are going to really help us out and not helping out the majority of people, when you vote, you choose who makes those decisions. And when you decide not to vote, you have decided not to be seen. And believe me, I was that crazy girl wearing flip-flops on the college campus in a poli-sci class going, oh, conscientious. No, that's not how that works. How I thought it works is not how it works. So the people that the SBA report to, and the reason that those programs don't work for you is because the elected officials don't know you exist. So when they came up with those programs, there was nobody at that table who sees you. So vote and make a good decision. And if you don't know what a good decision is, call a friend. Just call Nia.
Call me.
Call a friend. Facebook message someone. This is critical because it doesn't matter how much we decide and we take action on, the action has to come at a national level too. You got to have all the plates spinning to really get ahead. So that means 100%. Even if we want to take care of our neighborhood, we also have to make sure we're taking care of it at a national level. So please, 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 everything we're talking about all relates back to voting too.
Yes, it does.
Awesome. Nia, what you think?
I said
Simone? I just did that. You see, I faked it. I faked you out. Right? Yep, you said it.
So my thing is continue to wash your hands.
I'm not a professional.
Wear your mask still when you go in public.
Yes.
The important thing is wash your hands. I'd like to thank Nia, Simone, Kim for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's very important that you guys do the survey and spread it. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna keep on saying it. I'm gonna even post it. So important. But thank you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. We appreciate you all taking your time from joining us. We also want to so Jeff Davis just left his email address down there. So we got Jeff Davis tapped in with 100. So get his contact information. It is in the comments. I want to thank our viewers, Rick Usher, Jeff, Natasha, D Moore, DA. If you guys don't know D and her creative abilities, y'all need to tap in with D. She's like crazy creative. So tap in with her. We had Denitra, we had a bunch of people, Hurston, all kind of folks tapped in. We appreciate you all. And again, we will be back next week. And I'm gonna have a different shoe up here. Everybody's wondering what's up. Hey, this is in honor of the last dance, Michael Jordan. The last dance, the last episode was Sunday, so I had to represent MJ up here. So there we go. So until next week, put this video back on. Let's see if we can do that.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
There we go.
Cool.
The reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man. It's radicals, you know what I'm saying?
Pull up in motorcades. I got a show today. That's all I'm trying to do. Hustle and motivate. Choppers a throwaway. Hustle the overweight. Why they follow me now? They think I know the way. Stop to control the thing. Roll the solo away. And if you counter my trend, I make you my protege. Crossing that soldier race. Niggas don't know them days. Take you in back of the bill. Take you expose your rage. Take you across the tracks. You expose the face.
It's okay to be crazy, especially in what we're trying to do and what we're trying to accomplish. What the Porterhouse KC, the EBB, what we all are trying to do, we got a little craziness in it, right? What Shaquille is doing for banking, simply crazy, right? What Kevin's doing with the innovation initiative, what he's trying to accomplish is it's a little crazy, right? What Colin, these guys are doing right here, kind of have a little crazy. So sometimes why you when you get on E, that craziness continues to push you along that highway when you are running on fumes. You know?
Now you official now, but you got a soul to say. I just been cooking that new. I'm about to drop in a few. Think if I call it the great, the people gon' call it the truth. I really